11 News starts with breaking news.
Breaking now, a woman in critical condition after a shooting in Stowe Township. Channel 11 rushed to the scene along Broadway Avenue. That's where Channel 11's Mike Holden joins us live with the breaking details this afternoon. Mike?
Gordon, no arrests at this point, but certainly a difficult day right here in Stowe Township. This shooting happened just steps away from this main drag where there are a number of businesses, but it played out just past this gated area where police surrounded this space for several hours. You'll notice this man walking right past. The police have left this area within the last 30 minutes, but the investigation is now ongoing as they work to determine whoever shot this woman in the head. I want to take you back and show you the most active points this morning. Now, we stayed just past the crime tape and followed local and Allegheny County police as they surrounded this Stowe Township alleyway. It's located right off of 7th Street and Broadway Avenue. They got multiple calls around 8:15 this morning for a shooting. When they got here, they found a woman shot in the head. She was ultimately rushed to a local hospital where at last check, she is in critical condition. The county homicide unit is handling this case and still trying to piece it all together, actively trying to determine a motive. Now, within the last hour, I did speak with multiple neighbors out here who said they did not hear or see the commotion, but they tell me this is an incredibly sad situation for the community.
I'll pray for her, and I hope everybody else does, and hope everything works out for her, and she turns around and comes back together, and everything will be good with her and her family.
And really, that's the resounding message after talking with a number of community members, hoping that this woman pulls through. Again, at last check, there have been no arrests in this incident, no suspect description. My colleague, Gabriella DeLuca, actually just arrived here within the last 20 minutes or so. She's going to continue to follow up with Allegheny County Police, work to talk with business owners as well as any potential eyewitnesses in the area. So look for her reports starting at 5 o'clock tonight on Channel 11 News. Anything breaking in the interim you can find on the WPXI News app. Reporting live this afternoon in Stowe Township, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
All right, thanks, Mike. There are issues with 911 service in our area and across the state, and there's no timetable on when the problem will be fixed. A total of 12 counties have reported some impact to 911 service. 3 local counties are involved: Butler, Greene, and Venango. The 911 system isn't working, so you'll have to call an alternate number in an emergency. We have those numbers listed on your screen right there. A couple of exceptions in Butler County, though. If you have CenturyLink, you cannot use your landline even for the alternate number. You'll have to call from a cell phone. And if you don't have a cell phone, you are told to go to a nearby fire station for help. Counties have sent EAS and WEA messages to notify the public and share those alternate numbers. We also have these numbers up now on WPXI.com. There is a new proposal for Pittsburgh Public Schools to keep students learning from home, and they wouldn't return to the classroom until the spring. The board is set to vote on this plan next week. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond spoke with a parent about why the board is considering holding off on in-person classes yet again.
The board is scheduled to vote on this latest plan on Wednesday. Parents can obviously weigh in. The public comment period begins on Monday.
I'm missing all my teachers.
They keep extending it every time they vote on it, so I'm really not worried about it. I don't have too much of an expectation for them to go back in person this year.
PPS leaders keep pushing back the date for students to return to in-person learning. Students were going back in early January, then it was changed to February, and now the latest plan doesn't have students going back to the classroom until the first week of April. Some reasons for the change: the number of COVID cases. They're also hoping teachers, staff, and bus drivers will be vaccinated by April 6th. And a lot of families travel for spring break. The district knows this, so a return in April would give them a chance to get tested or quarantined.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's better to be safe.
We asked PPS Board President Sylvia Wilson if the board's concerned that students are falling even further behind. She says she doesn't think so, since every school district is kind of in the same boat. The superintendent also said that they're going to be looking at new opportunities for summer learning programs, as well as increased professional development, all to help with learning loss. Reporting outside of PPS headquarters, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
CMU is also delaying the start of in-person classes by another week. The first 2 weeks of the spring semester will be online only starting February 1st. In-person classes are now set to start back up on Monday, February 15th. Tomorrow marks 7 days in a row that daily new cases, I should say, in Allegheny County of COVID have been under 500. The health department says it's learned of 424 new cases since yesterday. Before last Thursday, the county was averaging at least 900 new cases a day. Health officials are also reporting 4 additional deaths since yesterday. Allegheny County leaders are urging patience as COVID vaccine doses are slow to arrive. And they admit it will take longer than planned to get through the first phase. There just aren't enough vaccine doses available, they say. Earlier this week, the state expanded the first group to get vaccinated, and it now includes people 65 and older and 16 and older with serious health conditions. This larger group equals a third of the state's population. The county health secretary says working with a limited supply is challenging, and the key right now is to keep wearing masks and following social distancing protocols.
I really think that the mitigation orders had an impact. We saw this again in the summer. We saw it early on in the pandemic. You put in strong mitigation orders, you see a decline in the cases or a plateauing of the cases in about 2 weeks, and then a slow and steady decline. And that's exactly what we've seen again.
Dr. Bogan says patience is crucial, and we all need to continue to do our part to stop the spread of the virus. President Biden begins his first full day of work in the Oval Office today. Much of his agenda focused on immediately reversing some of the controversial actions of his predecessor. The main focus, confronting COVID-19. NBC's Jay Gray is in Washington with a look at the new administration's early agenda.
To accomplish your purposes on earth.
President Biden's first full day in office begins with a call for help from a higher power. The immediate focus of his administration is clear.
The issue that he wakes up every day focused on is getting the pandemic under control. The issue he goes to bed every night focused on is getting the pandemic under control.
Today, the president expected to announce a coronavirus national strategy that includes expanding emergency relief and use of the Defense Production Act to increase production of vaccines, as well as expanding testing and treatment. He's already signed executive orders urging all Americans to wear masks for 100 days and imposing a mask mandate on all federal property. He's rejoined the World Health Organization. His top advisor on the pandemic, Dr. Anthony Fauci, taking part in a WHO virtual session this afternoon.
We work for the people.
Virtually swearing in hundreds of appointees.
We got a lot of work to do.
The president has started work on other campaign promises, halting construction of the border wall and introducing new sweeping immigration legislation. He's rejoined the Paris Accord and temporarily blocked oil and gas exploration in the Arctic Wildlife Refuge. A flurry of actions, reversing some of his predecessor's key initiatives, making it clear his administration plans a very different path forward. A path that, remember, includes a narrow but controlling majority in both the House and Senate. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
One day after a game against the Penguins, 4 Washington Capitals players were added to the NHL's COVID-19 list. It comes the same day the team was fined $100,000 for violating COVID protocols. At least 4 players, including Alex Ovechkin, are accused of meeting in a hotel room without masks. Being placed on the COVID list does not mean they have the virus. Wind chills in the single digits this morning. Meteorologist Jessica Faith has more on the impact that the wind is still having on our weather right now.
Yeah, the wind is still very strong. We're at 20-mile-per-hour winds right now. That's the sustained wind in Washington. 14-mile-per-hour wind in Pittsburgh and 17-mile-per-hour wind in Greensburg. So again, this is the sustained wind, not the wind gust. And coming up in about 10 minutes, I'm going to show you when the wind gust will be the strongest this afternoon. Now, it's nice to see some sun outside. You can kind of see the image shaking there. That's because the winds have been so strong. Tonight into tomorrow morning, we are expected to get some snow showers, a few flurries, and I'm also going to talk about in 10 minutes where we'll see those snow showers, who has the best chance to see it, and what our weekend is looking like. That's all coming up again in about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Jessica. An investigation is underway into an early morning house fire in Beaver County. Crews were called to Blackwoods Road in New Sewickley just before 1 this morning. That fire was at a home that was far off the roadway. No one was hurt, and the Red Cross is helping one man who lived there with a place to stay. This is all that's left of a home in Pittsburgh's Allentown neighborhood, and now investigators say this fire was no accident.
Why? Like, why would a house full of kids?
A mother and her 5 young children managed to escape the flames as it tore through the home on Excelsior Street yesterday. Police say someone was seen setting fire to the front and back of the home.
Very scary, because I know she plays with them in the summer sometimes, and we've talked to them before, so it's just very scary and sad.
Police did not give a description of the arsonist, but we spotted a number of security cameras in the neighborhood, including one on a church across the street that could help in the investigation. The mother of a 2-year-old boy who police say was murdered by his boyfriend has pleaded guilty in another case. The Trib reporting that Teresa Fetterman pleaded guilty to animal neglect. Officers say her boyfriend beat her dog in the couple's New Kensington home last year, and Fetterman never got it medical attention. She is still awaiting trial in her son's death. Keith Lilly is also accused of killing her son, Michael, last March. He's charged with first-degree murder, and prosecutors say they will seek the death penalty. The back window of a car was shattered after it was hit by a bullet on the north side. No one was hurt. When we got to the scene just after midnight, we saw police canvassing a nearby home along Linwood Avenue. No word on any arrests. Allegheny County police are looking for a man who robbed a store at gunpoint in broad daylight. It happened at this Family Dollar on Main Street in Sharpsburg at about 2 yesterday afternoon. Police say the man pulled out a black gun and got away with cash, and then he took off in a 2005 red Ford Focus. Someone has 731 million reasons to smile after winning the Powerball jackpot. The winning ticket to last night's drawing was sold in a small town in Maryland, about a half hour from the Pennsylvania state line. 7 tickets were sold that matched the 5 numbers, but not the Powerball, so they will each get $1 million. You could still try your hand at the Mega Millions. That jackpot is up to $970 million. The next drawing is tomorrow night, and you can watch it right here on Channel 11.
Ridiculous. I wouldn't imagine why somebody would do that.
Police say his neighbor attacked water workers with sulfuric acid. What led up to the dangerous decision?
I take them home or bring them back here to the pharmacy and we smash them.
Why a local pharmacist says he's being told to destroy vaccine vials once they're used. And why the principle of mind over matter could make the COVID vaccine even more effective.
The radar is quiet right now. You're good to go for your Thursday, but I'm going to talk about our next shot for snow showers and which areas have that best chance.
The woman on your screen is charged with burning a group of water service workers with sulfuric acid and drain cleaner. Police say the woman poured it down a pipe belonging to the Municipal Authority of Westmoreland County after her water was shut off. Neighbors tell Channel 11's Melanie Gillespie they're not surprised.
These 3 workers with the Water Authority were just here to restore the water service back to this Jeanette woman's home. Police say they were burned by a chemical poured right into the pipe.
It's been quiet, so I mean, I'm not surprised that that's why, that she would damn near nuke this city. She's angry at everything.
Neighbors say they're not shocked to hear Deborah Simalski is in jail after being accused of dumping sulfuric acid into the pipe of her curb box, causing burns to Municipal Water Authority workers.
It's ridiculous. I wouldn't imagine why somebody would do that, like why you would bring that problem to yourself.
It happened in November, but county detectives just filed charges. Police say the chemical sprayed the 3 Water Authority workers, causing burns and irritation to their skin and clothing. The Water Authority was there to restore water service to Simalski's house on Harrison Avenue in Jeanette after she finally paid bills that had been due for months. Simalski allegedly told police she wasn't obligated to pay her utility bills because of the pandemic.
She was in their faces with her phone, with her camera, screaming about, the state, screaming about the city.
When police searched her house, they allegedly found 2 bottles of clean out sulfuric acid drain cleaner in the basement. A forensic scientist told detectives if the chemical exposure went untreated, it could cause serious bodily injury.
It's unfortunate because it was around Thanksgiving when that happened. I feel bad for the people that had to come here and had to deal with that.
Simalski isn't a stranger to police. She got in trouble 10 years ago for hitting a Jeanette police officer with her truck and trying to bite police officers. But neighbors here say it's a relief for them knowing she's in jail.
It's completely unwarranted, and I wish that, somebody could help her, that she would seek help.
Melanie Gillespie, Channel 11 News.
Simalski is in jail without bond because the judge said she was a danger to the community. This picture was posted online. It shows a local judge posing for a photo with her husband dressed up as a Capitol Hill rioter. Allegheny County Common Pleas Administrative Judge Kim Eaton says the photo was taken as her family celebrated the historic inauguration. Her husband's costume resembled the man who went viral during the Capitol riot this month. That rioter faces federal charges. Judge Eaton issued a statement saying, quote, "In our celebration, I exercised poor judgment, and I realize that the photo sends the wrong message given the tragic events of January 6th. The Paris versus Pittsburgh debate is back in the headlines. President Biden signed an executive order to rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement. Republican Senator Ted Cruz criticized the move, tweeting that President Biden is, quote, "more interested in the views of the citizens of Paris than in the jobs of the citizens of Pittsburgh." Former President Donald Trump originally referenced Pittsburgh when he pulled out of the Paris Agreement in 2017. Cruz argues that the deal doesn't do much to help the climate and it hurts Americans' livelihoods. Pittsburgh Mayor Bill Peduto responded saying, quote, "Are you kidding me? And here we go again." The Paris Climate Accord is an effort to curb global warming. It was signed near Paris in 2015. Take a look at this. It's a new animation of COVID-19. An Austrian design lab came up with this. The lab says it's the most detailed view of coronavirus that we have today. And if you are waiting to get a COVID-19 shot, here's something to consider. A new study says your mental and physical health can affect how your body reacts to the vaccine. Our senior Washington correspondent Blair Miller explains.
Millions of Americans are waiting for their turn for the coronavirus vaccine. New research shows you can use that time wisely in an effort to boost your body's response to the shot. An Ohio State University researcher recently wrote a paper accepted for publication in the journal Perspectives on Psychological Science. The research focused on different vaccines over the past 30 years. It found self-care is key to vaccine efficacy.
These risk factors, including stress, depression, loneliness, poor health behaviors, can impact the side effects to the vaccine. They can impact the amount of time it takes to develop immunity to COVID-19.
Annalise Madison also says poor mental and physical health might shorten the time in which the vaccine works. She suggests getting plenty of sleep or even exercising within 24 hours of getting the COVID vaccine to help boost your response. From the Washington News Bureau, I'm Blair Miller.
your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
Happy Thursday. Maybe you felt the wind outside if you have been outside today, and the wind will continue to be very elevated for the next few hours, even around 3 o'clock, seeing wind gusts around 34 miles per hour. They're still going to be strong later this evening and tonight, just not as intense in the lower 20s, around 22 miles per hour for most of the evening, even lower than that tonight, which is some good news. The winds will be dying down tonight. Now, it looks beautiful outside. You see the sunshine coming in, the rays coming onto the buildings, 39 degrees, but factor in that very intense wind. It feels like we're in the lower 30s. It feels like 31 degrees with that partly cloudy sky. So maybe you want to take a walk and get outside, enjoy the sunshine. I would definitely bundle up, have on the hat, the scarf, the thicker jacket, because again, it's going to feel a lot cooler. In the next half hour, I'm going to talk about how much cooler is going to feel not only today, but this weekend. It's going to feel quite cold, but we'll enjoy the sunshine tonight. Clouds will continue to build back in tonight, along with the chance for some snow. Now, the winds along the lake, they're going to move mostly toward the west, but I do think some of these snow showers will drop down. The data consistently shows snow showers around I-80 tomorrow morning, so most of the area looking quiet. But if you are headed out and about, let's say around 7 o'clock in the morning, Franklin, Butler, Newcastle, even Clarion could be seeing some snow showers that could impact your travels. But the snow showers really not that impactful, little to no accumulation. Now, they're going to continue to sink toward the south, but again, kind of isolated to scatter, not a whole lot of coverage, not going to be very impactful during the day. Here's tomorrow afternoon, looking very isolated, very small there, and keeping chances small even as we go into the nighttime hours. But again, looking to get some lake effect snow, but not a whole lot as we go into tomorrow night. And we do have a small chance for maybe just a few flurries Saturday morning, but the main thing that we'll be seeing this weekend, very cold air. But we're actually looking mostly dry during the weekend. The high will be 27 on Saturday, 32 with an overnight low of 17. And I'm going to talk more about not only temperatures and how cold it's going to feel, but Monday. We're looking at a mixed bag of precipitation, looking at a system coming in from the south that could give us rain and snow. You'll want to stick around for that, and also those wind chill numbers because they're quite impressive.
Thanks, Jessica. A judge has ruled the Port Authority cannot ban its drivers from wearing masks with messages like Black Lives Matter. Why union leaders say it was the right call.
We thought we were responding to a call where a man had shot his wife.
A sheriff duped an innocent man in handcuffs, all because of one phone call. The details next. The state Supreme Court has ruled the iconic billboard on Mount Washington is legal. The court ruled the sign does not violate the city's zoning code. The decision ends a 7-year legal battle between the city and Lamar Advertising. The billboard is more than 7,000 square feet. It has featured signs from companies like Iron City Beer, Alcoa, and Bear.
Sure, my name is John Karras. I'm calling to surrender myself because I just killed my wife.
That 911 call is not what it seems. Police think it was a telemarketer getting revenge on a man who hung up on him. The man said that he was fed up with all the telemarketers and said that he had some not so polite words on one of the calls. Well, shortly after, that 911 call was made from his number. And 10 minutes later, John Karras was in handcuffs. Once they sorted things out, they think the telemarketer spoofed his number and called 911, and he says he has no hard feelings toward the sheriff, and that they're actually good friends.
Larry Minks is a good friend of mine, and I told him that his guys were excellent. They did what they had to do. Scared the living heck out of me, but you know, they did what they had to do.
Tracing the caller is nearly impossible, but John says he learned his lesson and will never again pick up a number he doesn't recognize.
Should I get COVID, I'm not so sure I would pull through.
The race to vaccinate turning even more troubling. The challenges this local woman is dealing with to get her shot.
I just don't understand the delay or what the, why it can't be better coordinated.
This woman is battling cancer and struggling to get the COVID vaccine. Pennsylvania expanded eligibility earlier this week to include people 65 and older and those with serious health conditions. But health officials in our area say they simply don't have enough shots for everyone. And a local doctor told our Michelle Newell he feels blindsided by the changes.
Patricia Mays knows what it feels like to fight for her life.
Although I had a good response to my treatment, there's always that fear that it compromised me because chemotherapy.
Even after completing treatments, Mays is still fighting triple-negative breast cancer and battling the fear of getting COVID-19.
I am concerned that should I get COVID, I'm not so sure I would pull through.
Mays is 65 years old and wants the vaccine. She spent most of the day trying to schedule an appointment, only to realize thousands of people were ahead of her and appointments weren't available.
When I was trying to get into New Kensington at the pharmacy, I was there was 17,000 people in queue. That's what it told me.
Vaccine supply is low.
Opening 1A to all those people created a bit of a conundrum because it forces us with such limited supply, to decide who comes next.
Dr. David Rottinghouse, who is the chief medical officer at Butler Health System, says there isn't enough vaccine to vaccinate even 10% of all the people who are now in Category 1A, but they will make do with what they have for now.
We're targeting ages 75 and older. This week, we're starting to bring those people in even as early as today.
The Southwestern PA Regional Chief Medical Officers Consortium sent out this letter expressing gratitude about the added COVID-19 vaccine guidance by the Department of Health, but supply is very limited. Part of the letter says, quote, "We simply do not have adequate vaccine supplies or clear notification of when and how much is coming to be able to meet this new, much larger group who can benefit. Many requests for vaccination will not be met in the next days to weeks, and this is not from a lack of desire."
We would like to do is work with the state, as a partner, as would all the health systems in Southwest Pennsylvania, and really, be assured that we're going to have robust supplies of vaccine.
Michelle Newell, Channel 11 News.
And Allegheny County health officials are also asking for patience with the vaccine expansion. They say with the new group of people now included in Phase 1A, it's about a third of the state's population, and Allegheny County is getting fewer than 20,000 doses a week. Many of you are wondering when it is your turn to get the COVID-19 vaccine, and the State Health Department just launched a vaccine eligibility quiz. It asks if you're 65 or older, a group that is now eligible for the vaccine, then whether you live at a nursing home or a long-term care facility. The quiz also asks if you have any serious health conditions, which makes you eligible for the vaccine, and if you work in health care. Once you answer the questions, you'll get your results, and if you are eligible, you'll be directed to a map to help you find a vaccine provider near you. We have a link to this tool on the Race to Vaccinate section of WPXI.com. Meanwhile, scientists are reporting troubling signs that some mutations of the coronavirus could impact the effectiveness of the vaccines. One way the vaccines work is by prompting the immune system to make antibodies that block the virus from infecting cells. But the antibodies are not working against all of the variants as well. Scientists say the vaccines still protect against infection, just not as well. Nurses are demanding resources to rebuild the state's public health system. Nurses from several state departments say that years of budget cuts are putting patients at risk. They say they're dealing with understaffing, poor recruitment, and failure to fill open positions. Later this afternoon, nurses from the Departments of Health, Corrections, and Human Services will ask the state government to address the issues. Well, we're finally going to see some warmer temperatures and some strong winds out there. Meteorologist Jessica Faith here now with the forecast. Jess?
Yeah, temperatures are very close to 40 degrees, which is pretty good for this time of year. We're at 39 in Pittsburgh, Greensburg, and in Washington. Now, if we just didn't have the wind, it would be absolutely perfect because the wind makes it feel like we're near freezing, and then it's going to feel colder tonight, feeling like we're in the 20s. But at least we have the sunshine, and the actual air temperature will be in the lower 40s this afternoon. But again, still bundle up because it's going to feel a lot colder than than that. Now I'm going to talk more about temperatures we expect, especially this weekend. We're talking about some very cold wind chill values, and I'm also going to talk about our next best chance for widespread precipitation, and that comes early next week. I'll lay out all of the details, and that's in about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Jessica. A man accused of posting a threatening Snapchat photo has been banned from school grounds in Butler. The Butler Area School District was granted an emergency injunction against Ryan McConnell. McConnell told police he was joking when he posted a photo of himself holding a rifle with the message, "Ready for school." The injunction bans McConnell from entering school grounds or attending any school functions. Port Authority workers protested, and now a judge has ruled in their favor. The Port Authority cannot ban masks with messages like Black Lives Matter. And today the agency announced it has created a new position, Director of Diversity and Inclusion. Port Authority's CEO says that the creation of this role was a critical step towards identifying, addressing, and improving equality within our organization, and it will not be the last. Channel 11's Liz Kilmer spoke with the head of the Port Authority's union about the court decision already leading to changes.
Moving forward, if you board a bus in Allegheny County, you may once again see the driver wearing Black Lives Matter on his or her mask. This after a federal judge ruled that the Port Authority's attempts to prohibit that are a violation of rights.
They were all very, very happy about the decision.
Port Authority employees pleased, along with their attorney, Joe Pass, after a federal judge ruled in their favor this week regarding what they can and cannot wear on a mask. It's a case Channel 11 has followed for months after employees were apparently disciplined for masks that said Black Lives Matter. In a 45-page opinion, a judge said banning those masks violated the First Amendment.
Public employees especially have an absolute right to make speech while they are working. Otherwise, we don't have a democracy.
The Port Authority declined to comment on the judge's opinion, but previously told us that while it proudly stands against systemic racism, the masks violated a long-standing uniform policy that prohibited any social or political statement to protect employees and patrons from messaging many may not agree with. But according to the judge's opinion, a government can only restrict speech if it's likely to be disruptive in the workplace.
Unless you can show or reasonably show that there is going to be a disruption in the service, the employees do have, public employees do have a right to speech. And they don't check that constitutional right when they go through the door.
Liz Kilmer, Channel 11 News.
If you see a COVID vaccine for sale online, do not buy it. What pharmacists are being told to do with the empty vials now. And too good to be true, the new scam targeting people who don't have Netflix. A Washington County restaurant is being sued by the state for violating the most recent ban on indoor dining over the holidays. The owner of Angelo's Family Restaurant in North Franklin Township told us that he is part of the lawsuit brought by the state. Yesterday, we told you the Cracked Egg in Brentwood is also facing more problems. A bankruptcy judge ruled the Allegheny County Health Department can continue proceedings against the restaurant. The department ordered the restaurant to close for not following COVID guidelines. Pittsburgh officials say their affordable housing program in Lawrenceville has been so successful, they want to see if it can work in other communities. According to the Trib, the program is being extended for 6 months. It was supposed to expire next week. The program requires certain housing developments to have 10% of their units be affordable for low-income families. Free Netflix for a year? The Better Business Bureau says it is a scam. The BBB says it's seen an increase in reports of people getting these text messages. With a link to get a free year of the streaming service, it asks that you fill out a personal information form and payment method, but it is not associated with Netflix.
Bring them back here to the pharmacy and we smash them.
Why a local pharmacist says he's being told to destroy vaccine vials once they've been used.
We may be seeing sunshine today, but our 5-day forecast includes a wintry mix. I'll lay out the details in Storm Tracker coming up in about 5 minutes.
If you see a COVID-19 vaccine for sale online, do not buy it. Criminals are taking empty vials, filling them with unknown substances, and then selling them as vaccines. Channel 11's Joe Arena spoke with a local pharmacist who is now making sure those tiny bottles don't fall into the wrong hands.
Here at the Hilltop Pharmacy in Allentown, the staff here has already given out nearly 3,000 vaccinations. But once these Moderna bottles are empty, believe it or not, they still have some value to some people.
It's just another scam that there's people out there who think entirely different to me.
Pharmacist Pat Lavella's main concern these days is getting as many people vaccinated as possible. But today, he's got another thing on his mind, specifically what to do with these empty Moderna vaccine vials. The Healthcare Distribution Alliance is a national organization that represents primary pharmaceutical distributors. Recently, they put out a warning to pharmacists that it's probably a good idea to destroy empty Moderna vials.
They had asked us to break the bottles or smash them so they could not be taken by someone else or resold somewhere or refilled with something that we know is not going to be the vaccine.
And Pat says the Alliance told him and other pharmacists they received reports of the vaccine being sold on eBay, and in some cases, empty vials as well. We did a quick search on eBay, and while we didn't find any full or empty Moderna vials, we did see sales for empty vaccine vials from other pharmaceutical companies. But Pat says he never anticipated a warning like this one.
It would have never crossed my mind that there is a group of people out there that would be willing to do this and profit.
And Pat says it's simple. This vaccine should cost you nothing, and if someone makes you pay for it, walk away.
We don't pay to get the product. It's provided by the federal government. So in no way, there's a set-up distribution point or set-up distribution system that is available for this, and it should cost them nothing out of their pocket.
In Allentown, Joe Arena, Channel 11 News.
A local community says they found a way to help those in need with mini food pantries. This picture was shared by our partners at the Trib. There are 3 of these little drop-off food sites around Greensburg. This one is along South Pennsylvania Avenue. If you'd like to help, they say they really need packaged foods like soups, pasta, and fruit cups. The Army Corps of Engineers is getting ready for a big project on the Ohio River. The navigation project will get $22 million this year. The money will be used for things like design analysis and land purchases. It will also include a construction contract at the Montgomery Locks near Monaca. The goal is to replace aging infrastructure and to make navigation on the river safer, more reliable, and efficient.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Colder air is coming our way and is going to make it a lot colder, especially with the wind. It's going to feel a lot colder. We go from 43 today, and I showed you the wind chill. It's going to feel like we're near freezing, so the wind is playing a factor today. That colder air settling in tomorrow. Temperatures near freezing for the high. And this weekend is going to be very chilly, below freezing for the high on Saturday, 27 degrees. Even though it's going to be a dry day, the reason you may not want to get outside is to stay warm. With a high of 27, factoring in the wind is going to feel a lot colder, 32 degrees. That's for the high on Sunday. So tomorrow morning is going to feel like we're in the teens. Could feel like 17 tomorrow morning around 7:30, maybe heading out and about, grabbing that cup of coffee. Make sure it's extra hot. You'll need the warm. Feeling like 15 in Butler, feels like 15 tomorrow morning in Greensburg. So we're talking about a very cold morning and temperatures throughout the day. We usually expect a nice warm up. Still feeling like the teens in some spots by the peak of the daytime heating tomorrow afternoon. So could feel like 17, may continue to feel like the teens all day tomorrow for our northern counties right around I-80. Could feel like 19 actually in Pittsburgh. Could feel like 20 in Greensburg. So we're talking about a very cold day, but that's nothing compared to what we're going to expect for Saturday. Here's Saturday morning. If you have an early start, expect temperatures to be in the single digits. Could feel like 3 degrees in Butler, could feel like 5 degrees in Pittsburgh, and the cold temperatures continue throughout the entire day. So we're good to go today. Again, it is windy, but today's really the best day to get outside. We expect a few flurries tomorrow. Very cold for Saturday, and then Sunday we're looking cold as well, but we do expect snow to come late into the day. The clouds will be there here Sunday evening. Could see some snow showers, not widespread. We will see that widespread precipitation during mainly the second half of the day on Monday, where we could see some snow showers, some sleet, and some rain, and that continues even as we go into the nighttime hours. Could see some snow showers, and again, this is pretty much for the entire area on Monday. So a good bit of precipitation coming our way with that mixed bag on Monday. Today, getting a good bit of sunshine, a few flurries, mainly tomorrow morning, but we could see it throughout the area. Not a big coverage expected as far as snow for Friday. Could see a few remaining flurries on Saturday. Snow late into Monday, throughout the day on Monday, with very cold temperatures, especially for those overnight lows throughout the 5-day forecast.
Some researchers say the monarch butterfly is getting close to extinction. They say breeding, overwintering, and pesticides are the top reasons. The team looked at the population on the California coast, where numbers have diminished. And when the monarch butterflies arrived in Pennsylvania for spring migration, scientists say they saw significantly lowered numbers. Now here's local steals and deals.
I have something today that's going to help get you organized, help clean up your house, and be popular with every member of your family. Wait, it's not the lottery. It's actually the MC Squares whiteboarding system. And I love this idea because I have to write things down or I forget. I write them down and I lose them. Do you do that? This is a system that is going to enable you to not write down things on paper and then throw it away, because how many millions of people are putting paper in a landfill every day for that? But to literally write it down, peel off the back, stick it where you want it, write what you want, erase when you want, write again. 2,000 times. How amazing is that? So you take the little backing off, and at first I thought, that's not going to stick to anything, but look at this. Sticks, just like that. And it's not that sticky regular adhesive, so it's not going to damage something. This will stick to any shiny surface. How great is that? Now you can put them all up on your mirror and you can get your whole presentation in your head. You can put them on your computer screen. You can put them on the front of the file cabinets. Your kids can put these in their room, and you're not going to have to worry about, oh no, don't stick tape to that, right? You don't have to worry about any of that. So I love the fact that this helps you get organized, and you have all kinds of great options. So you have these great sticky notes, you have these lists, you have the whiteboard where you can do drawings, you can do notes, you can do lists, you have calendars, you have markers, you have the whiteboard cleaner, you have everything that you need to really be organized. You know what? Our homes were always crowded. Now we're working from home, the kids are going to school from home, and we're living at home. So that home has to be 3 times as efficient in the same amount of space. This is a great way to do it. Right now on localsteals.com, these are 35% off, and I guarantee if you are an artist or an organizer or a student or just somebody who loves great ideas for your home, you are gonna love the MC Squares whiteboarding system.
Rude passengers could face a lifetime ban on Delta flights. The CEO making the threat in a new travel blog. Delta is one of the largest airlines at Pittsburgh International Airport. The CEO says disturbing actions will not be tolerated, and that includes not following COVID rules. Since the start of the pandemic, Delta has banned more than 800 passengers for not wearing masks, and right now they would be able to fly again when the mask mandate ends. People are using Kamala Harris's rise to power as a teaching moment, and that includes the Boys and Girls Clubs of Western PA. Their president and CEO tells us the election is a good starting point to teach kids the right lessons.
We focused on how we can help our young people be civically engaged, understand the election process, understand how they can be a part of redesigning those processes in the future.
The Boys and Girls Club serves more than 12,000 kids ages 4 to 18 in our region. Bernie gets a bobblehead. During yesterday's inauguration ceremony, an image of Senator Bernie Sanders sitting on a folding chair and wearing mittens went viral. That inspired the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame to create their latest product, which is a figure of the independent senator from Vermont, complete with mask and mittens. The individually numbered Bernie bobbleheads are expected to be available in May, and they cost $25 each. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.